DSTV channel 399 from across Africa or the world, good morning and welcome.
Most definitely. You can also watch us online from around the world on this special day, of course, the 7th of July 2026.
We're broadcasting live from the top of Tower Hill in the heart of the beautiful city of Freetown, Sierra Leone's capital. Now you can send us your comments through our socials on AYV News Facebook page on the top stories that we cover.
Coming up this morning, the main opposition of People's Congress Party has announced the postponement of its constituency elections, originally scheduled for Saturday, 4th of July 2026, following consultations with the Political Parties Regulation Commission PPRC.
Also, the party in a press statement said the elections would now be held on Saturday, 11th July 2026 nationwide. We will discuss details on the postponement and preparations ahead.
We'll also discuss the preparation of the Revolutionary United Front Party REFP ahead of its 2028 general elections, their party delegates and presidential conventions that are approaching. And AYV's Mariam Atomi brings us up to speed with the nitty-gritty of this year's signing out ceremonies. Indeed. But before all of that, let's get a quick message from our sponsors, Wakeup Commercial Bank. Shall be right back. Stay tuned.
More and more people are using Wakeup SIM Copper Plus in their everyday lives. Did you hear that? She just transferred money for her daughter's school fees. And this man just paid for some products. Ah, Mr. Abu, are you sending money to your wife again?
Yes, like Wakeup SIM Copper.
Ah.
Yes, like having money in my pocket.
Ah, excellent.
Thank you.
He just bought some eggs. The world is digital, so keep up with the times. Have you got a payment to make? If so, just download Wakeup SIM Copper Plus now. You can download the Wakeup SIM Copper Plus app from Apple iStore and iPad or Google Play Store for Android users. You see, it's fast, safe and reliable.
Sorry, car, go see some business partners.
You didn't give me my money, Michael. Can if I kiss a young, give me this capital and not to in that day. Michael, today you pay me my money. I don't send it for let you help me send money in Ghana. 2 weeks now, you not send me money and then you not give me back my money. Today, give me my money.
You know, ever sabi goodness in life. I send back your money, but trust me, today na the very last day I ever send money for now.
I don't need the help because I don't know so with Afri money. I dey able send money. Now Baku Africa countries them with Afri money. We dey able send money to over 10 African countries, whether it's Ghana, Gambia, Liberia, or Kenya. If me party we know this, we not follow the party grammar right now.
Okay, una go regret. I mean, now me not una go regret.
The best part right now, Michael, with Afri money, you dey able send money even if you not use app, even if you not the online. Directly, all you need for do, you just a dial *161#. Pam, your money don't go. So I don't need the help again. Thief man.
Thank you.
Send money to over 10 African countries instantly with Afri Money. No stress, no excuses. Just dial *161*1*6# now. Afri Money, quick and easy.
Every day feels better with peace of mind, and peace of mind starts with preparation. Unexpected moments can happen anytime, but with the right insurance, you're always one step ahead. At J-Man Insurance, we help you protect what matters most: your life, your family, your future. Don't wait for what if. Prepare for what's next. Get covered today and move forward with confidence.
place again. It's been a very crazy day. The joyous feeling in the air when rain falls on a sunny day.
Happy, yeah. Let the stars, let the roll.
Enjoy life's little pleasures with Maltina. Maltina. Share happiness.
As mama, I always want waiting best for me picking them, especially when it comes up waiting them for eat and drink. Now this make I always they choose Sarah juice because they make come from with local foods them and nutritious and it gets less sugar than the other drinks them. Not to me say so.
We lab test show say Sarah juice gets 50% less sugar than the other drinks them na the market.
Because we mama they know waiting best for we picking them, now you make we always they choose Sarah juice. Sarah juice is nutritious, it's healthy, and it's sweet. Sarah juice, not the taste of Salone.
Welcome back. It is a reminder that you're watching Wake Up Sierra Leone live on the Africa Young Voices on TV and radio. Now, what was once a modest farewell among classmates has evolved into a flourishing social phenomenon spanning nursery schools, primary, secondary, even universities. I'm talking about signing out ceremonies.
According to the OECD's 2024 Education at a Glance report, young people are placing growing value on ceremonial milestones and shared experiences, while researchers at the University of Oxford's Internet Institute have found that platforms such as TikTok and Instagram are reshaping how adolescents publicly perform life transitions.
In Sierra Leone here, where more than 3.5 million people are under the age of 24, according to the 2024 Population Reference Bureau, the influence of youth culture is rampant. AYV's Mama Tami brings us up to speed with the nitty-gritty of this year's signing out ceremonies.
The ink has dried, the midnight candle is out, and the flowers have begun to wilt, and the music has started. Yet across Sierra Leone, conversations about signing out continue to echo long after classrooms have emptied. Once confined largely to pupils completing the school leaving exams, WAS, the tradition now stretches to universities and even nursery classrooms. What was a simple exchange of signatures has become a public celebration, carefully documented for social media. Behind the celebrations themselves, opinions remain divided. While some see signing out as a well-deserved reward after years of academic effort, others believe the growing expectations surrounding gifts and expensive displays are changing the true meaning of the tradition.
I signed out recently, and for me, signing out does not mean much to me, but it means something to at least the people that I hold there, my mother and my sister, my elder sister. So I took part in the activity because it's some sort of achievement, because after 4 academic years of hard struggle, and the struggle is real, by the way, after 4 academic years of struggle, we had to celebrate. We had to say, okay, this is it, we're done with university, at least months prior to our graduation.
The 4 years you've spent, 4 or 5 years you've spent at university, you deserve celebration. I, for one, did not want to partake in the sign out, but based on influence from friends, and I see that it should be celebrated. But the only problem I have, I believe if it should be celebrated, it should be done after second semester grades have been published. But it's not a bad thing, just people are looking at it. I don't know if they did not have the opportunity to sign out, they are seeing it on a very bad light. But it's not, the university journey is very difficult, so you need that time to celebrate aside your graduation.
Yet beneath the color and celebration lies a more complicated conversation. Child development specialists caution that when social recognition becomes tied to spending power, celebrations can unintentionally deepen inequality among students. Increasingly, families find themselves balancing pride with financial reality.
When me be in college, I be doing sign out because I know I would say I go throughout for like get me degree. But the way it go now, so you don't turn like say a culture or a celebration. Maybe they say people they waste too much resources on that. So for me, on that angle, I not be saying like it's not too much necessary. You just need a polo, like a white t-shirt like this one. So people the way you believe or you feel say a role model in a society, you get that experience and sign. But the way we don't go so now, some man even organize a party for do a sign out. As the end now, some other people they go do that sign out, they don't even come on that particular year. Well, some man also the extent they use that as a means for extort in parents or in guardian. But come money. But if not like just that polo, that t-shirt, for me it's not bad.
If someone can afford expenses that come with their signing out, it's fine because they can afford it. But if they can't, but you still want to get a new wig, installation, highlight, do your nails. Some people go to the extent of doing a photo shoot. If they can afford it, it's fine. But if you can't, I don't think that is necessary. You could save up. I think the graduation is, you could save all that up for the graduation because graduation is the big deal.
I've lived a life that's full.
For some, it's a celebration of achievement. For others, it's a growing social trend that comes with unnecessary pressure. As another school year comes to a close, one thing is certain: signing out has become much more than saying goodbye. Maya Matomi, AYV News, Freetown, signing out.
Many thanks to Maya Matomi for that very interesting report. We return to the main studio. Now, the main oppositional People's Congress, APC party, has deferred its much-anticipated constituency-level elections, originally set for Saturday, 4th July 2026, now Saturday, 11th July 2026.
The party announced the one-week adjustment in a public notice attributing the decision to a consultative meeting with the Political Parties Regulation Commission, PPRC, and a formal advisory note issued by the Commission on July 2nd, 2026.
The party emphasizes that the brief delay is necessary to finalize internal engagements and administrative processes. It called on all aspirants, delegates and members to remain calm, law-abiding and focus as preparations continue for the rescheduled polls.
The postponement, the party also said, forms part of the APC's broader efforts to reorganize at the grassroots level ahead of its National Delegates Conference. The party has been conducting lower-level elections, including ward-level polls earlier in 2026. and it builds structures following the contentious 2023 general elections.
So this morning, to discuss this issue, among others, we have Minkailu Koma. He's a member of the APC publicity team. And we're expecting to be joined by Olusegun A. David, Executive Secretary of the Political Parties Regulation Commission, PPRC. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us, Minkailu.
Good morning, Fabian. Good morning, Jones. Delighted to be here.
Take us through a quick history as to how we got here, because the APC had been conducting lower-level elections. What happened this time around? How did you get to this stage?
The press release is very clear. We've conducted lower-level elections for 446 wards. We also did conduct elections for wards that were petitioned. And then we put out a notice to conduct lower-level constituencies elections. We received some concerns from members of the party regarding the publication of eligible voter register, that some names were either omitted or the correct information was not recorded. And so the PPRC called the secretariat, the leadership of the APC, to sit and discuss those concerns and suggested that we address the concerns before going into the constituency elections. And so we agreed collectively that 1 more week is important to be added so that all of those inadequacies could be addressed before we go to the elections. For us, it is good as a party. We understand the fact that there has been some delay, especially noting that we initially slated the elections for the 30th. 30th last month, June, when we received the sad news of the passing of the national chairman of the party and some other comrades like Honorable Lucinda, Honorable Comrade Omega in Port Loko. And so we were focused in addressing those bereavement. We went to Kono, we went to Lunge, we gave a befitting burial to the former chairman of the party. And so the party thought it fit to add another week so that mourners will return to their various constituencies and prepare for the elections. And then we said it was going to be conducted on the 4th of July, which did not materialize because of the concerns I have highlighted. So now it is also very important to us as a party. We may not want to conduct elections just to come back to the drawing board and ask to go and redo them. That would cause us a huge sum of money, because conducting elections, Fabian, is no child's play. You do not only have to spend money on election materials, you also have to spend money on personnel, the deployment of them to various constituencies. And we are talking about 132 constituencies. After deploying those, election officers to those constituencies, conduct an election just to be told, go and redo it. So we accepted that indeed we need to go to the drawing board, address all of those concerns within a week, and republish the register before the elections could be conducted.
Just yesterday, we had one of your members, Honorable Usman Abdal Timbo,
yes,
and he said he had written a letter to the PPRC requesting their intervention, that there are positions that are uncontested, and he says it's waste of resources and effort to conduct elections for those categories. You've had a meeting with the PPRC.
Yes.
Did that come up?
Yes, the letter was sent after the meeting with the PPRC. Thibault sent a copy of that letter to me. His concerns are justifiable, and I think the Secretariat will look into it and address it appropriately. They are very justifiable concerns. I read the letter because he sent it to me too.
So now the elections is on the 11th. The expectation is all the issues mentioned that led to the postponement have been resolved. What are the detailed preparations for the 11th?
The resources are available because you cannot conduct elections without resources. The personnel are in readiness to deploy. The people contesting in those elections are also very ready, because in the final analysis, we have a category of people that will be contesting in those elections, and there has to be proper education, because not everybody will participate in the elections. It is going to be strictly an electoral college process. We have elected executives across wards, so those wards are going to form part of the electoral college. Say, for example, in constituency 20 in Kenema, you have about 6 wards there. So the 6-ward executive plus the outgoing constituency executive, and if there is a member of parliament in that constituency and a councillor in that constituency, they will all form part of the electoral college. Not everybody in the APC will vote. It is not an open primary where every card-carrying member who is registered and paid up will vote. And so that education has thoroughly also been communicated to the membership. And I believe everything is set now for the conduct of the elections. We want the elections to be conducted. We have delayed. Remember, our convention will have been conducted in February last year. And after engagement with PPRC, even the executive, this executive, their tenure came to expiration in February last year, we must note. They extended their tenure for about 6 months, and it is to expire around August 17, 18. After that expiration, they will not have the locus to carry the party forward again. And that is why a mechanism was also put in place. It was suggested, it was resolved. In fact, it's not a suggestion, it was resolved that if they could not carry the party up until August this year, they are going to hand over the party to a caretaker body, which is the parliamentary body. And then even that was also properly arranged, that every region will contribute to 1 member of parliament. We have a member of parliament in the southern region from Moyamba district, Honorable Ben Alpha. We have members of parliament in the eastern region. We are the Honorable Tom Tucker from Kono, hail from. We have members of parliament in the northeast region, Koinadugu, Falaba, Bombali and Tonkolili, and northwest region, Cambia, Podloko, and Kayina and western area. So they are going to contribute members of parliament each to form that caretaker body to now transition the party to a substantive executive. So all of those arrangements are in place.
Who oversees these elections?
Say again?
Who oversees the election?
Which ones?
Your lower level, these constituency elections.
The IEMC,
okay.
The Independent Elections Management Committee.
That's internal APC.
Yes. It was a body established by the March 7, 2022 Constitution, and that body is responsible for the conduct of elections. Their tenure will also expire immediately after the conduct of all lower level elections. They will not conduct elections for the National Delegate Conference because they were voted at the National Delegate Conference. And one of the concerns that Timbo did raise in that letter was calling for the intervention of PPRC to conduct elections for the IEMC, the Internal Elections Management Committee, because they are not going to conduct elections for themselves. You cannot be a referee and a player at the same time. So after the conduct of those lower level elections, their tenure will come to expiration.
Okay.
And when it expires, there is going to be the conduct of an election for all IEMC interested members before the National Delegate Conference that will elect national officers of the party and the flag bearer. So that is the process.
Let's now welcome Olusegun A. Davis. He's Executive Secretary of the Political Parties Regulation Commission. Good morning, welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
I'd like to pick your brain on, Timbo informed us yesterday that he had written the PPRC. What's the status of his concerns? Have you addressed them?
Of course, the Commission received a letter from the Honorable Abdel Timbo regarding issues relating to elections of the internal elections of the All People's Congress.
Yeah.
Of course, he's not the only one that have actually sent in complaints letter. We've received several petitions, concerns, complaints from various members of the party on diverse issues, So indeed, I confirm that the Honorable Timbo have actually sent in a letter of complaint, and tomorrow, the Commission will actually commence the hearing processes of all of the complaints, petitions that have been received. And we definitely have to stretch ourselves because we know for sure that the party really don't have enough time. So the petition hearing is going to cost us almost the whole day. just in case we are unable to finish during the course of the day, then we have to continue till we are done. Whether it's 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 12 midnight, 3 a.m. in the morning, we'll have to finish it.
How grave would you say these issues are? Are they serious issues?
They are legitimate concerns, and some of them are really very serious. So, for example, you have complaints regarding change of names. Some people alleged that they actually won the ward elections, and when the published delegate list was out, their names were omitted and have others' name, on the list. So that's really grave. That's a grave allegation. You equally have others that will say the conduct of the elections, as we prepare for the constituency elections, there are a lot of abnormality. We've seen that even names of those executive members who are elected in the last National Delegate Conference have got their names changed. You have some other new phases, stepping in, alleged to be members of the executive for which they were not voted for in the last National Delegate Conference. So you equally have others' concerns regarding the location. Some of the petitions that we've received actually queried the published location from the National Secretariats, in the sense that in their estimation, for constituency level elections, it must be held at the constituency headquarter town. And some of the elections, according to the content of some of the petitions received, have actually been slated for areas that is really off the headquarter town of the constituencies, probably being influenced, according to their citations, being influenced by some other strong candidates or party stalwarts, as the case may be. So those are just snippets of some of the contents of the petitions received so far.
Would you say these issues actually undermine, eternal party democracy?
Yes, definitely. It will. Definitely. Because those who have actually won and have their names removed definitely will be very aggrieved, and that equally affects the base of the political party. So definitely it affects internal democratic values of a political party. And that's exactly, as a commission, that is exactly what we are against, and that is the reason why the Act provides that in the circumstance when members of parties feel aggrieved, they come to us as a form of recourse to ensure that their concerns are addressed. And at the end of the day, what is more important, the benefit is for the party, because in all of what we are doing, the end result is having the party as a unified force, having its members intact. So, indeed, it undermines democratic norms and values.
Kyle, how much time do you have left to the next delegates conference?
We have limited time, and I have stated it very clearly. But before then, one of the issues also raised by the Honorable Timbo is the one doing with members that applied without a contest. Maybe for elective positions, one person will apply, say for example, to be secretary of a constituency, organizing secretary, and no opponent to contest with in the elections. What becomes of that application? Is also seeking clarification regarding that, because he knows the Constitution. He was the principal draftsman for that Constitution. Yes, those concerns are very, very serious, and we think the PPRC is doing good for the APC. Like I stated, if we had ventured to go into the constituency election, then spend monies, after that petitions are again filed to the PPRC, it will cost the party a whole lot to go to the drawing board again and start addressing them. So I have stated earlier, before the coming of the executive secretary into the studio, that the step taken by the PPRC and the advice to the APC is appropriate, and that we respected that, more so the reason why we stated that the elections be deferred. But the time is very limited. In the last resolution, we are giving up until August this year to conduct our lower level, our National Delegate Conference. And so we communicated that clearly. The venue was supposed to be put local, and that in August this year, we are going to conduct our National Delegate Conference. But unfortunately, I don't see it as feasible, because of the fact that we are even yet to conduct constituency elections. After constituency, we shall have to proceed to district, to region, to specialize organs of the party. By specialized organs, I am referring to the Women's Congress, the Young Congress, the Veteran Congress, and bodies of the party. like the Disabled Wing, the National Union of APC Students. We have former members of parliament, former councillors. We have to conduct elections, even affiliate bodies, because they have to contribute about 2% of the number of delegates into the National Delegates Conference. We have to conduct elections for all of those categories. And we are also having concerns coming from the diaspora region, which is the 6th region by the arrangement of the APC Constitution. There are various chapters in the diaspora, from North America to mainland Europe. You know, we have a lot of chapters. Africa, we have to conduct elections for all of those chapters, which are also equivalent to constituencies. And then the diaspora regional conference will also have to take place. The venue is being contemplated. There was an initial suggestion of Germany, and some people are raising concerns that we have chapters that may not have the opportunity to secure visas to go to Germany. Chapters like in the Gambia, in Guinea, Liberia, and some other countries in Africa. So they are looking for a venue that will accommodate all of those people without strict visa restrictions. So all of those concerns, I don't think we can be able to meet the deadline of August this year. That is just true. But I have also stated that in the last resolution, there was also a mechanism that there will be a caretaker body. If this executive cannot take us to the National Delegates Conference by August, the parliamentary body will be awakened, that each region will contribute one member of parliament to constitute themselves into a caretaker body that will now transition the party to a substantive executive.
The clock is ticking for the party itself, because all these preparations internally are also setting the tone for preparations to contest in the 2028 elections. Let's come back to you, Olusegun. So they're even asking for the PPRC to conduct elections for the internal elections management body, the IEMC. It's a request for PPRC to conduct elections for them. Minkailu had mentioned that earlier. With the deadlines approaching, how seriously is the PPRC looking into this?
Well, first off, I'm not too sure, probably. I wasn't in the studio.
Well, let me restate. In one of the letters I read, one of the concerns raised by one of the members, that this IEMC, their tenure comes to expiration before the National Delegates Conference, because they were elected at the National Delegates Conference. So the concern is that who conducts elections for the IEMC, because you cannot be a referee and a player at the same time. After conducting all lower level elections up to region and specialized organs, they are to conduct elections for them before the National Delegate Conference, because they are supposed to be elected at the National Delegate Conference. And so someone was suggesting in a letter that I read that PPRC intervene to conduct elections for them. So I just want to be clear.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Minkailu. Of course, PPIC is responsible not only for the registration of political parties, but equally so supervision and the regulation of political parties. So any request that actually comes from a political party regarding the operations of that party, it's the responsibility of the PPIC to actually honor that particular request. So assuming that particular request as, prayed, it's a prayer from one of the petitioners, assuming the party think that the PPIC should actually help in terms of the conduct of that particular IEMC's election, then definitely the PPIC will definitely conduct the elections. Of course, the SLPP is a case study. We've conducted lower level elections for the SLPP in 2016. We did again in 2021. Of course, in 2025 again, when the leadership of the party asked that the PPIC help to conduct the lower level elections of the SLPP, we did. So definitely we are open. Once political parties write to us and make a particular request, whether to help them technically or to help conduct the elections, definitely it's our responsibility. We'll definitely conduct those elections.
I suppose your work is not as easy as it may come across to sound. Within the parties themselves, you have dissenting views sometimes. One side would want one thing, another side would be demanding something contrary. How does the PPRC come to make a decision? In this case, for instance, one side is asking that the PPRC conducts elections for the IEMC. If another side is saying, no, we do not want the PPRC to do that, how do you come to make decisions when perhaps all sides are not together on the same request?
For every entity, there are leadership structures. And yes, it's natural. We may not agree together. We may not think alike. We may not share the same aspirations and vision or concerns, as the case may be. But what is more important is there is every institution, every political organization have a leadership structure. And before the leadership will actually approach the PPIC, these conversations must have emerged. They must have actually held series of consultative engagement between and amongst the membership. Definitely not everyone will actually support, but in a circumstance, there is a resolution and a letter, an official letter is sent to the commission, then definitely we have to just provide the necessary support. In the case of the Sierra Leone People's Party, not everybody was really happy that the PPIC should actually conduct the lower level elections of the SLPP. But because the leadership of the party actually saw it befitting that we've been conducting these elections and we keep having problems, so let's have the PPIC to do it. And a formal letter was getting to us, then definitely we responded. So in the same instance, if the All People's Congress, irrespective of the divergence view, irrespective of the opposing interest, opposing view, once a formal letter is written that emanates from the leadership of the party, then definitely it's our responsibility to provide the support that is required.
It's worthy to note that the relationship between the PPRC and the political parties, particularly the two main political parties, the APC and the SLPP, has seemed to grown to such strong lengths that you could now disagree to agree, but things seem to be going better than they were in not even long history ago. What happened that now the PPRC, before now you would get to see the political parties either issue a statement, a presser, or even engaging the media coming at the PPRC having issues with you? That seemed to be history now. What happened? How did you repair that relationship with the political parties?
Well, I would say it has to do with leadership as well. But again, it has to do with a lot of political dynamics. You know, the question is, was PPIC actually not doing the right thing in the past? The answer is no. It has to do with perception, it has to do with interest groups, and it just has to do with what people perceive the PPIC to be. Fast forward, let's equally note that there was a review of the Political Parties Act in 2022 and equally strengthen the regulatory powers of the Commission. And thereafter, when the contents of the Act was actually introduced, it's just natural. No human wants to be regulated. It's just natural. When you want to introduce new laws, definitely you actually feel, you get the resistance from people. So I'll say the introduction of the Acts at that time was a novelty. It wasn't business as usual. Party leadership are not really used to to the PPIC regulating effectively the political space.
Could that have also been part of the problem that at that time you were not the Political Parties Regulation Commission, but the Political Parties Registration Commission? Could it be that you were providing regulation authority over them as opposed to just registration? Could that have also been part of the problem?
No, it has nothing to do with that, because even the 2002 Act provides that the Political Parties Registration Commission then register, monitor, and supervise. So you cannot monitor if you're not involved. You cannot supervise if you're not involved.
But
so
we ended
what
up
the
changing 2022 from Registration Commission to now Regulation
So what the
Commission.
2022 Act provides is the insertion of the word regulation as well. So you now have supervision, monitoring, regulation. So it's an added responsibility. Not to say that the responsibility wasn't there before, but you now have an additional responsibility to now ensure that some of the gaps, some of the lacunas of the law before were actually addressed by the insertion of the word regulation. And there were a lot of other introductive citations that became an embodiment of the Political Parties Act of 2022. However, like I said, it has to do with leadership as well. You know, leadership of the PPIC currently under Emmanuel Kwe via Amara ASQ is one that has that open door approach. And it's predicated on the fact that we need to be impartial, we need to be very fair, we need to be flexible, because the political parties are not our clients, they are our partners. And if they are our partners, then we have to work together, we have to discuss on issues together, we must disagree and collectively, before we leave the room, agree and come out with one voice. So there were a lot of, I'll say, leadership is the bottom line. So over time, the interface of the PPIC with the political parties, initially we have, our party leadership has this perception that because the chairman of the PPIC is an appointee of the ruling government, then definitely his or her conduct will actually speak or be in line with the vision of the ruling party. Now, over time, our political leaders have now realized that irrespective of the fact that the 1991 Constitution provides that His Excellency the President appoints the chairman of the PPIC, but the conduct of the PPIC's chairman after his appointment have displayed high level of professionalism, tolerance, fairness, unbiasedness, and a situation where political parties now have trust in the PPIC. And I'll tell you for free, like you rightly stated, we are actually having a cruising relationship with the political parties. Not because we are doing anything extra, but one of the things we've been able to do as well, like I said, has to do with the leadership. Bringing a new face to the operations of the PPIC in terms of interface with the political parties, and allowing the political parties to now judge based on our output that the PPIC is really unbiased, it's really professional, and the intent of the PPIC is to ensure that political parties, membership of political parties are united. So probably I'll say that's the reason.
Minkailu, I'll ask the same thing to you. What would you say has led to this harmony now? Of course, you speak for your party, between the APC and the PPRC.
Yes, the relationship is cordial because there is sincerity of purpose in the operations of the PPRC, and the regulation itself, you sense some amount of unbiasedness, and then deliberations are held openly. People are allowed to participate. You don't sense some amount of state capturing, as the allegation is wide for other institutions. I think that has enhanced the relationship between political parties and the PPRC. There is a dynamic leadership in the PPRC, ranging from the executive secretary to the chairman of the commission. I mean, they don't punitively, punish political parties. Sometimes they engage constantly. They remind us of our responsibility, remind us of the need to conduct free, fair, and transparent elections, create a level playing field for the leadership and membership of the party to realize that the PPRC can be approached at any time, and they have mediated in all of those concerns credibly. There is one that the nation was speculating that the APC may not have accepted, the one that has got to do with the former vice president. You remember there was a complaint before the PPRC regarding his membership, and then after the ruling from the PPRC, it was accepted without an iota of doubt. We did not raise concern. A lot of people were thinking that after that resolution, the APC could have challenged it in court. But we did not do that because we saw that the deliberations were very sincere. Everybody in the room was very open-minded and liberal, and the more the merrier. The APC did not challenge that decision. Even when fines were levied, we paid those fines for utterances made by some of the members of our party without challenging the authority of the PPRC. And so that has been the relationship, and we hope to see that going forward. We don't want to see a circumstance in which the incumbent government may want to use some of those institutions to stifle the progress of political parties. Even when delays are caused, I want to believe those delays are actually not caused by the PPRC. Because if you are asked to go conduct elections at certain venue as established by rules and regulations, then you went ahead to change that venue when petitions are made. It is not the responsibility of the PPRC. If people have been elected at ward levels, their names are recorded correctly according to the positions for which they are elected. You went ahead to delete those names, replace them with other names, and when they are challenged, it is not the responsibility of the PPRC. The PPRC has not delayed the APC. The APC is delaying itself as a political party. So we need to understand that clearly.
Does the APC have the needed resources to administer these elections?
We do. Resources are not the problem. We have the financial resources, we have the manpower to administer those elections. In fact, we have conducted the most difficult aspect of it. 446 wards is the most challenging one. And at those ward elections, all members of the party who are card-carrying, registered and paid-up members are expected to vote and to be voted for. The most difficult part of it is the ward election. For the constituency, it's just an electoral college for a specific number of elected officials of the party. So yes, we have the capacity, we have the resources to conduct those elections.
With all these issues in light, let's discuss integrity of the elections. Do you think these elections should be fair and credible in light of these issues that are emerging right now?
Yes, we are ensuring the fairness and credibility of the process. We, members of the APC, the leadership, the IEMC, and the PPRC. The PPRC is the watchdog. When there are issues of credibility or concerns or election malpractices, concerns are always raised. That is why there is provision for petitions. You remember after the 446 wards, there were various petitions to the IECB. We have an internal complaints board. And then even after the ruling of the IECB, some of the petitions were further challenged at the PPRC. At the end of the day, the PPRC called the IECB, the IEMC, the petitioners, and the leadership of the APC and mediated. Some of the resolutions or the decisions of the IECB were upheld. Some were reversed. We accepted, we did not challenge because we are reversed based on the provision of the law. The APC Constitution, the PPRC Act, and some other instruments that guides the conduct of a peaceful, transparent, and democratic elections. So yes, we have the capacity, and I think the credibility of the process is not under question. Okay. That is also the reason why, in fact, when there are inadequacies, like the ones that have been raised, changing of names, the register not being appropriate. So all of those concerns, the PPRC did say to the APC, let us have a break, come to the drawing board, let us address those concerns so that going forward, you will not have problems of coming again to sit on petition cases and to go and redo those elections. So that is also very good for us because in the final analysis we've been saved, the losses of huge resources, and I think the party will make progress. So the credibility is not under question because the concerns are being addressed as we proceed.
Rushogo, if the APC, failed to meet the 11 July deadline, what would be the consequences here?
The 11 of August?
The
constituency elections?
Yes, the constituency elections. Because already they are almost out of time. There's a strict calendar that they had published earlier.
So there's no replaying consequences on the side of the PPIC. The consequences will actually affect the party generally because they really don't have enough time. And probably I just need to set the context. because I've actually seen in so much, I've seen a lot of discussions on social media regarding why the PPIC had to advise the APC to defer the elections from the 4th of July to the 11th of July. Now, prior to the proposed date of the 4th of July for the conduct of the constituency elections, the Commission received a couple of petitions and complaints. And some of those complaints, like we've rightly stated, are those that have the potential to undermine the credibility of the electoral process. So as a regulator, what we did was to summon the leadership of the party, the National Secretariat, to have the IEMC, that's the Independent Elections Monitoring Committee, to have the IECB, the Independent Elections Complaints Board, to have a conversation. All of what we received at that time was handed over to the National Secretariat. That we've received a couple of petitions, complaints, and those complaints, like we rightly stated, have different dynamics. And if you proceed to the conduct of these elections, wouldn't you think that the Commission will actually receive a couple of petitions because some of them are really contraventions of the APC's constitution and rules and regulations? And collectively, in that meeting, it was a collective decision to say, okay, given all of what we've actually discussed on, given the complaints that the PPIs have received, it is but fitting for a deferment. And that's exactly what we did to now, following that agreement in that meeting, we now wrote officially, we in this context, the PPIC, wrote officially to the party in the form of an advisory note. That given the circumstance in the meeting that we held, we've resolved together, given all of those scenarios, it is but fitted for the party to defer the conduct of the constituency election to the 11th of July. So there are really no consequences on the part of the PPIC. Okay. For us, we know for sure that the party have no time. The life of the executive comes to an end in August. I think around the 4th or so thereabouts. I need to cross-check. I really don't want to misinform the audience, but comes to end around August. Yes. And once it comes to end, and one of the things we were very careful around, when the issue was brought to the PPIC, the former Honorable Almami actually brought the issue of the extension of the life of the executive of the APC to the PPIC. Of course, we went through series of petition hearings regarding that. We summoned the leadership, summoned the petitioner, stakeholders within the party, and we looked at the law. We realized that in a circumstance when the party's constitution was not really expressful in terms of affliction of time of national executive, then we looked at the provisions of the Political Parties Act with special reference to sections 39(5) of the Political Parties Act. We equally looked at citations from the Constitution and the rules and regulation of the APC, and we realized that the APC Constitution does not express the state that in a circumstance the life of an executive comes to end, what happened. What is there is that the life of the executive comes to an end at the National Delegates Conference. Now, before the National Delegates Conference, how do you remedy, the leadership of the party? So we looked at the provisions of Section 39(5), and we realized that the intent for the insertion of Section 39(5) was to curb political menace. Some political leaders in the past, prior to the review of the Political Parties Act, will hold themselves for as long as, once their life have actually elapsed, they'll hold themselves to the respective positions for more than 1 year, 2 years. And we thought that was not good. That's not democracy. If you want to actually hold the governance position in the states, if you want to lead, you have to actually democratize your internal systems, because charity begins at home. And that's the reason why Section 39(5) was instituted or inserted in the reviewed Political Parties Act, to say that political parties at the fluctuation of time of the life of the executive cannot or shall not extend their lives beyond 6 months. So that's the reason why the life of the executive was extended. But we equally, as a commission, we were equally fearful that in a circumstance, the extension period, the leadership of the party is unable to conduct all of the elections. What will happen? Again, we never wanted the party to get to a point where there will be leadership crisis. So there was a stopgap. That in a circumstance, the leadership, after the extension, is unable to meet in the conduct of the entire elections, then you have the leadership of the party in parliament having a representative from each and every region to now work with the IEMC, that's the Independent Election Monitoring Committee, to conduct the remaining sets of election that will lead to the National Delegate Conference. There were a lot of prayers from the petitioners that you constitute persons who are stakeholders in the party to hold themselves as caretaker for the party. And we looked at it. Were those individuals whose names have been proposed, were they elected? The answer is no. Who should actually give mandates to individuals in political parties to hold position? It's the National Delegate Conference. Is the PPIC a member of the National Delegate Conference? No. So one of the things we did, and like I said, I'll always say it, the PPIC has got a dynamic chairman who is young, who is fortress, who is sightful, who is forward-looking, and his presence in the commission have brought a lot of dynamism in terms of our operations, in terms of staff morale, in terms of professionality. And we looked at it and say, it's really not safe to bring in persons who have not been elected by the National Delegates Conference, and those individuals who have been elected by the very membership of the party or constituents presuppose Sierra Leoneans, are the members of parliament. So it's just but fitted at the expiration of the life of those persons that were elected at the National Delegates Conference to have another outfit, to have another organ, who must have got votes by way of trust, by way of belief, all right, from the membership of the party and the ordinary citizens to now constitute themselves into a caretaker body. And that was the reason why we couched that, we couched that particular methodology that at the expiration of the life of the executive, even after the extension, you have the leadership of parliament to now work with the IEMC to conduct the rest of the election. So we wanted to fill in the issue of leadership strife, or you have that leadership gap at the expiration of the life of the executive.
I suppose the question now would be, what will be PPRC's role in the affairs of the APC running up to their delegates conference?
Now, I'll say for sure that PPIC do not micromanage political parties. We do not meddle with the day-to-day operations of political parties.
What do you do?
Even though we are regulators, but we don't interfere into the day-to-day operations of political parties. What we do is to provide advisory notes, advisory positions to guide the leadership of parties, or in a circumstance where the ordinary members have problems with the leadership, or there is some leadership issues, they come to the PPIC, we now mediate and ensure that the problem is actually solved. But in terms of the day-to-day operations of the parties, no, we don't. We do provide advice. If we detect that things are not going the way it ought to be, we summon the leadership of the party, we provide our advice within the confines of the law, within the provisions of the party's constitution, and we provide the necessary guide. But we don't really micromanage political. We are regulators, and we don't want to be seen to be dictating what happened within political parties, because we are not members of those parties. We just regulate the space because we want to create an enabling environment for not only the leadership, but equally for the ordinary members of the party, who, in our estimation, are the true owners of the political parties.
Then, let's look at it a bit briefly. How many flag bearers do you have, contending right now? Maybe an approximation.
Yeah.
How many of them do you have?
Well, I cannot be in the position to actually state the number clearly, but because there is a process for that. Everyone that is warming up right now can only be considered somebody contesting for the position of leader and flag bearer of the APC after an application. There is a process. The internal election rules and regulations did establish the fundamental requirement for that application process. Yes, there will be a time when the party will invite application for the position of leader and flag bearer of the APC. People will then apply for the position officially. But I am seeing people that are currently running up and down all over the country expressing interest and campaigning. You are also seeing them, yeah. I cannot be in the position to tell the exact number, maybe I'll mistake, because every day you see another applicant coming up. You see another interested person coming up. We have seen people like the Honorable Chairman Ramadan Majuba, the Dr. Kelfala Mara, Dr. Richard Conte. You've seen like the Mohamed Omodu Jagaban. I believe the Mayor Yvonne Akisoya. I have seen Honorable Bai Mahmoud Bangura. I have seen Dr. Ibrahim Bangura and Lawyer Adi Macaulay, Honorable Abdel Timbo Esquire, Usman Abdel Timbo Esquire. I have seen Davis, Juan Davis is also contesting, about 10. I think the number is now running up to 15 or 18, really. I cannot recall the other names.
Will this be the largest you've had?
No.
Okay.
In 2017, running up to 2018, we had about 27, 28 people contesting to be elected flag bearer. Even in 2023, a number slightly above 20 also did apply to contest for that position. This is not the largest.
If you met the 11th July deadline, would you say...
The 11th July for the conduct of constituency elections?
Yes, if you met that deadline, would you say that the calendar would be automatically aligned, leading to the convention?
The one for August?
Yeah.
No, it is not possible.
Okay.
Yes, because there are provisions that you have timeline for the publication of voter register. You have timeline for the announcement of venue for election. So we are definitely not going to meet the deadline of August 2026.
When are you foreseeing?
Well, it depends on the conduct and outcome of elections. I cannot sit here to, predict a date, because it also depends. If we get it right, then it will be simple. If we stop creating problems, we as members of the APC stop creating problems. Problems like changing names, changing venues, and some other things that may want to taint the entire credibility of the electoral process. If we focus, follow the Constitution stricto sensu, the rules and regulations guiding the conduct of the elections, and cooperate fully with the directives and instructions of the PPRC, then we shall get it right.
And are you hopeful you'd be able to meet all these deadlines and prepare in time for the 2028 elections?
Yes, I am hopeful. In fact, we have also a provision in the APC March 7, 2022 Constitution that says the leader and flag bearer of the APC shall be elected 2 years before the conduct of a general election, like the 2028 elections. So it is incumbent upon us to have our National Delegate Conference conducted within this year. That is incumbent upon us to do.
Even though you're running late with the deadlines?
Yeah, we are running late.
You still see a possibility of that?
Yes, they foresaw this. The Commission foresaw this. The more reason why they made an arrangement that if this executive, whose tenure has been extended for 6 months, could not take us to the National Delegate Conference, then they shall awaken the members of Parliament to now constitute themselves into a caretaker body that will take us to the National Delegate Conference. We are hopeful that before the end of 2026, we shall have our National Delegate Conference conducted.
Olusegun, when the PPRC conducts elections for the political parties, who foots the bills?
The government. The PPRC we don't generate income. We rely squarely on subventions from the central government through the Ministry of Finance. So definitely, when conduct of political parties elections are really ongoing, we receive allocations from the Ministry of Finance, primarily, to provide a supervisory and regulatory role in all of the electoral processes. So who foots the bill? It's the central government, and the government have actually been providing the requisite resources, to ensure that we carry on with our mandates and our roles and responsibility within the political party internal electoral process. When the political parties conduct elections internally on their own, they fund the elections, they foot the bills. But when it comes to the PPRC, it has to be government sponsored. It could be an easy way to get the elections done without spending a dime towards the elections.
Do you just always agree and accept to conduct elections for them, or do you have a criteria that can determine whether or not you would oblige to their requests?
Well, the Commission just don't conduct elections for political parties because we wish to do. Honestly, if we have our ways, we don't want to conduct elections for political party. We want them to conduct their elections because that is how you capacitate, you know, the internal structure of political parties. However, in a circumstance where there are probably, well, disagreements, you know, suspicion, and you have members who think that those persons who are supposed to conduct the elections have actually taken sides, those circumstances can actually warrant the leadership of the party to now say, PPIC, kindly help us with your skills and expertise in the conduct of our elections. And it's now the responsibility of the Commission, upon the receipt of such requests, to now ensure that we provide the necessary support in ensuring that the elections, as requested for, are conducted in a very transparent, open and fair space.
Let's take you to Facebook, where we have tons of messages. We'll read out some of those messages for you and get your response to the messages. I'll start off with Ambassador Paul Uman Pikin, who says, Mr. Minkailu, the nationwide constituency elections have just been pushed from July 4 to July 11, 2026, following an advisory from the PPRC. What specific outstanding internal engagements and administrative processes forced this last-minute delay? With the National Delegates Conference, NDC, tightly scheduled for August 9 to 12, 2026, does this one-week delay compress your timeline dangerously close to the deadline for publishing and vetting the final eligible delegates list?
Minister Abdul Denke says the opposition party assumes a very critical and crucial status regarding the 2028 national elections. Therefore, the restoration of sanity within the party is fundamental and functional. Thus, the effort to elapse the narration of inter-party dissatisfactions must really be the central obligation of the party.
Ambassador Paul Uman Pikin says, Mr. Minkailu, earlier this year, the PPRC had to invoke Section 39(5) of the Political Parties Act to temporarily extend the mandate of your National Advisory Committee, NAC, to prevent a leadership vacuum. How do you respond to internal party critics who argue that the current executive is operating on borrowed time?
The same man continues, Mr. Executive Secretary, the PPRC's advisory note directly led to the rescheduling of the APC's constituency elections. What specific administrative gaps or compliance failures did the Commission flag that made a postponement absolutely necessary? When the PPRC intervened so deeply in the internal election timelines of the main opposition, such as issuing directives on the longevity of the NAC or enforcing strict fines, how do you maintain public confidence that the Commission is acting as a neutral arbiter rather than applying undue pressure?
Ambassador Paul Manpikin again says to both, the relationship between the APC and the PPRC has seen immense friction this year, from heavy administrative fines to suspended activities and now to collaborative election deferments. How would both of you characterize the current working relationship? Is it one of constructive regulation or deep-seated mutual distrust?
A mystic from Dozaki saying, inasmuch as your mandate is to regulate the political space, many Sierra Leoneans are concerned about the level of your excesses in giving fines.
Ambassador Paul Manpikin says to both Minkailu and Olusegun, for us, the ordinary citizens watching or listening today, internal party stability directly impacts national stability. Can both of you guarantee that the processes leading up to July 11 and into the August National Delegates Conference will remain peaceful, legally compliant, and reflective of true democratic values? Mohammed Dadiba Kamara says, I can categorically tell you that PPRC are responsible for the division in the APC. Inasmuch as PPRC mandate is to regulate political parties, but the PPRC acted against the APC constitution by extending the APC executive mandate. The APC constitution is supreme. Okay, would limit the messages to these and get your responses, gentlemen. I think Kylie, you can go first.
Yes, thank you. The message is doing with the wide allegations against the commission. I think the executive secretary will address that. Let me just focus on the ones that were directed to me and the APC. The first question, what forced the last deferment? This one, I have stated that some of our members did raise concerns regarding voter register, change of names, and a lot more. Those concerns were directed to the PPRC. The PPRC noting that if we go ahead to conduct the elections, that will lead to petitions and waste of resources. They actually called upon the APC to sit. I have stated they called the leadership of the APC, the IEMC, ICB, to sit to have a meeting and take a decision collectively to defer those elections so that all of those concerns, could be addressed before the conduct of those elections to avoid further petition and waste of resources. So the delay, I have answered that one. The second one is restoration of sanity. How can sanity be restored? The APC is not devastated. The party is well intact. The fact of the matter is there are concerns, and the PPRC that is responsible to regulate the conduct of political parties is also on top of its game to ensure that sanity is maintained. So the APC is not devastated. It is intact. There is sanity. Sanity does not presuppose there will not be concerns. There are concerns, and those concerns are addressed adequately as they show up. So we need to know that very clearly. Extension of the dates, the term for the executive, the person did say NAC. I think for the entire executive of the APC, their tenure was extended to 6 months. The person is making an allegation that it is not established in our constitution. Indeed, it is not. But then the APC constitution cannot supersede that of the PPRC Act and the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone. And so even though there is a constitution of the APC, but there are other parent regulations, like the Political Parties Regulations Commissions Act and the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone, especially Section 32(5) of that constitution. So we need to know that clearly. That again, it is not a novelty. We've seen circumstances in which the tenure of the SLPP was also extended, just so that they can be able to transition the party smoothly. So indeed, this particular extension is not illegal. It is in place. It is supported by law. We need to know that. The only thing is that it is also clearly established in the Act that their tenure can be extended for not more than 6 months. And this extension shall come to expiration by August this year. Some are suggesting August 18. But like the executive secretary said, he may not want to misinform the public. He has to consult documents to know the exact date in August. But that is it. We should know that. The relationship between APC and PPRC, especially considering the fines that were levied quite recently on the APC. Yes, there is a spaghetti relationship between the APC and the SLPP. The PPRC. The truth of the matter is, we as a party are very satisfied with the way the PPRC is regulating political parties, and our relationship with the PPRC is smooth. They have not stifled progress in the APC. The PPRC are not bringing sanctions or regulations to stifle progress in the APC. We have always taken complaints to the PPRC. The PPRC cannot just sit or wake up one morning and manufacture ways of regulating the APC not to proceed or progress. We have always taken complaints to the PPRC. Without us taking petitions or complaints or writing concerns to the PPRC, they will not have the cause to intervene to stop us in proceeding with the conduct of our elections. We need to know that clearly. We have to advise ourselves as members of the APC that time is not in our favor, that we have to do that which is right. when you do that which is right, there is no need for concerns. When they say conduct elections, conduct transparent elections. When they say this is the voter register that has been published by the Secretariat, certified by the PPRC, go strictly by that voter registration. The last time elections were conducted, most of the petitions were due to voter registration. For example, voter register. For example, in some constituencies, in some wards, the initial register did not exceed 400 or 300 or 350. When we were asked to go and redo, we saw, an addition of names in some of those registers. That where it was 400 or 350, the name now can be 600 or 700 or as the case may be. So the other opponent contesting in the elections will be left with no option but to raise petitions with the PPRC. So we need to understand that clearly, that we have to ensure a transparent process. The PPRC is just there to guide the process. They are not responsible for the delay. I am not holding brief for anybody. I am just speaking the facts because I can give an eyewitness account in some of those things. Finally, internal party stability versus national stability. Yes, I agree. When political parties are stable, when there is sanity, in political parties' operations, that can be translated to national, the entire national construct. And so that is why we are pleading with our membership to ensure that we cooperate with the process, we comply with the law, for there to be sanity in the conduct of our elections and National Delegates Conference, so that we can translate that in the conduct of the 2028 elections. That is just too clear. I agree with this last texter that if there is no stability within internal political parties' operations, that can be transported at national level. I agree.
Okay. Sure.
Yes, I'll actually use this opportunity to just thank our respective viewers and listeners, and of course their questions and comments. It's a testament of the passion they actually have in terms of the conversations. I'll start. Someone actually stated that PPIC is responsible for the problems within the APC, and he noted the extension of time of the executive. According to him, that is against the law. Of course, that's the person's opinion, but I'll just refer the individual to Article 5 of the APC's March 7, 2022 Constitution. Article 5 is really very clear, of course. It states that subject to the provision of the Constitution of Sierra Leone and other national existing laws. So it means in its reading that the APC Constitution is not really exclusively above the national constitution and other existing national laws, inclusive that of the political parties. So what was done was not out of the way, was in consonance with the provisions of statutes, and in this instance, with reliance on sections 39.5 of the Political Parties Act. So it wasn't done against any law, but it was done on a fair basis, and I'm sure if the Commission had acted or traversed the provisions of the law, I am not sure that the APC would have been able to make such progress, because there will be a lot of litigations, and that will actually derail the progress of the party. Somebody asked regarding whether the 11th July elections will be fair. Well, that is what we are hopeful about. That is what I'm sure that the APC is working towards, and that's the reason why in that particular meeting there was a resolution that will defer the election so that issues of concerns and petitions that has been raised will be addressed ahead of the conduct of the constituency elections slated now for the 11th of July. The levying of fines, I need not to talk too much around that. Of course, we as a commission will continue to do our best to ensure that we create a fine balance within the space. But one of the things I'll always say is that in all that we've done within the confines of the law, and we've not really acted out of bound or out of what is provided for in the statutes. There was another text that's really inquiring about whether the relationship between the PPIC and the APC. PPIC and APC have a very symbiotic relationship, and it's really very rosy, very cozy, not because of anything, but as regulators, we have the political parties are primary actors, and except we work together, there's no much progress that can be done. So the relationship between the APC and the and the PPIC is one that is really contingent and predicated on respect, fairness, transparency, and equally so unbiasedness, predicated on the provisions of the law. So we must have a very good relationship, and of course the workings of the PPIC is a testament to that particular fairness in terms of our relationship. Somebody talking about public trust. How do we maintain, as a commission, how do we maintain public confidence as a neutral arbiter? We'll continue to do our best. That's the reason why in all what we do, in all that we do, we ensure that the provisions of the law takes precedence. We don't bring sentiments, emotions, or friendship into what we do. All of our work, all of what we do, all of our petitions, rulings are really predicated on the instant provisions of the law. And that's the reason why we've never had a circumstance when someone has to challenge the PPIC in the court of law. Because I'm sure if we have really acted on traverse the provisions of those laws, I'm sure there must have been some litigative action against the PPIC. But because we've not acted out of the provisions of the law, then that's the reason why we've never been faced with any litigation. However, you know, I appreciate the person's comments. That's the person's personal view, and in a democratic state, everyone has his rights or her rights to her perceptions and views. But that's just the fact that we continue to provide neutrality and impartiality in all that we do, and that's the reason the political parties are really very confident and really very much trusted, and they really trust the PPIC. Somebody was asking about the advisory note that we issued. What was the gap or administrative failure that the PPIC envisaged? Of course, both of us have actually spoken about the issues that actually led to the issuance of the advisory notes. It wasn't just the Commission's decision, it was a collective decision between the Commission and the leadership of the party. After actually speaking on some of the issues in terms of complaints and petitions that have been received, and it was the honest view of everyone, including the leadership of the party, that it is better to actually take baby steps and you get to your final destination than to take a leapfrog, and at the end of the day you have to start again from point zero. So we are regulators. We don't need to see our political parties walk into a ditch before we tell them that there is a ditch. If we know that they will definitely fall into that ditch, it's our responsibility to tell them, no, that's a ditch, you cannot go through this way, pull back, let's go this way. Regulators do not set trap for those that you regulate, but what you do is to ensure that you prevent them from getting into problems, and in this instance, that's exactly what we've done. And I want to use this platform to equally inform all of those that have sent in petitions or complaints to the PPIC that will be addressing all of those petitions and complaints starting from tomorrow at 11 a.m. And because we are very sure and we know that the party really don't have time and they have to prepare for the 11th July constituency elections, we have decided, that's the chairman, commissioners and staff have actually decided that we are going to run through those petition hearings. If it costs us to be there till 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., so be it. We will finish. We'll start tomorrow on Wednesday at 11, and we'll finish those hearings either Wednesday or Thursday morning without going to our homes until we are done. And immediately, as we listen, we take time off from the conference room. We come back to the conference room. We hand down the ruling immediately. We are not even wasting any time. Yes. We listen to the petitions. We listen to the complaints. We have recess, we come back, we deliver the rulings immediately so that the party have ample time to prepare themselves for the constituency elections slated for the 11th of July. All right, thank you very much. Would follow up on the rulings of the PPRC and the conduct of the elections. Thank you, Olusegun O. David, and he's the Executive Secretary of the Political Parties Regulation Commission, PPRC, and we've also with us from the publicity team of the All People's Congress, APC. We're going on a quick break, and when we come back, we will continue the conversation. Please stay with us.
More and more people are using Wakeup SIM Copper Plus in their everyday lives. Did you hear that? She just transferred money for her daughter's school fees. And this man just paid for some products. Mr. Abu, are you sending money to your wife again?
Yes, like a Wakeup SIM couple.
Ah.
Yes, like having money in my pocket.
Ah, excellent.
Thank you.
He just bought some eggs. The world is digital, so keep up with the times. Have you got a payment to make? If so, just download Wakeup SIM Copper Plus now.
You can download the Wakeup SIM Copper Plus app from Apple iStore and iPad or Google Play Store for Android users.
You see, it's fast, safe, and reliable.
Sorry, car, go see some business partners.
You didn't give me my money, Michael. Can if I can say you give me this car, people not to Indy. Michael, today you pay me my money. I don't send it for let you help me send money in Ghana. 2 weeks now, you not send me money and 10 you not give me back my money. Today, give me my money.
You know ever sabi goodness in life. I send back your money, but trust me, today na the very last day I ever send money for now.
I don't need your help because I don't know so with Afri money. I dey able send money. Now Baku Africa countries them.
With Afri money, we dey able send money to over 10 African countries, whether it's Ghana, Gambia, Liberia, or Kenya. If me party we know this, we not follow the party grammar right now.
Okay, una go regret. Una go regret.
The best part right now, Michael, with Afri money, you dey able send money even if you not use app, even if you know the online directly. All you need for do, you just a dial *161#. Pam, your money don't go. So I don't need the help again. Thief man.
Thank you.
Send money to over 10 African countries instantly with Afri Money. No stress, no excuses. Just dial *161*1*6# now. Afri Money, quick and easy.
Fellow Sierra Leoneans, on 8th August 2024, Statutory Instrument Number 8 of 2024 regarding the conduct of nationwide population and housing census was successfully laid in Parliament. On 29th August 2024, this statutory instrument became effective following 21 days from its laying. Therefore, in line with the decennial census calendar, I am pleased to announce that my government will conduct a nationwide population and housing census.
It's 2026, we dey get with census. Make all man tell him famble them, and every responsibility for bring development. Make all man tell him famble them. From the east to the west, blah blah blah. From the north to the south, no matter how you dare or you try, blah blah blah. Mama or papa, blah blah blah. One picking on grandpa, blah blah blah. Auntie or uncle, blah blah blah. One city girl, may they call you, yeah. One people, one nation, may they call you, yeah. Now we no back up bills alone, may they call you, yeah. No person say you no care, may they call you, may they call you, yeah.
I'm a papa, make we come together now. Brother, sister, nothing saying no matter, no. No left behind, no. This now you 10 for. Can join the census. Salon now we on.
Okay, well, show me your name, show me your address. For make you go join now the plan. The census go make you get the access. For make you go vote now this land. Let the all you. If you don't want make them country again, make them creep you. Cause this time you're salon for us.
See what you better say, we bring good news, salon people have you. Census don't come again. We ready for contact, sky from the young to the old. Say the census go help make development day. Allow me them continue, nothing you know go pay. It go help plan more schools, hospital and lights, even water for you community. Who say you there?
May they call you, yeah. One people, one nation. May they call you, yeah. Now we no back up bills alone. census they come, dear, let we cooperate. Tell mama and papa, then get for country we all, dear, make we all ready. Census go help for make we know we serve, and who's how we stand. If you claim say you love salon, we say development day, na day you for day.
Yambo tegina, mimbo tegina, mingo teteke biambe. Got 2026 census na me right, census na you right. Family, imagine if they count everybody they left you out.
Amulemba kotumogbawa, upoka kufuninge sagbele tuwa. Konya, ye amubuji hule panda. Wabulo letebe bawa baya ganga. Ye tumogbawa mudagbe behave. Kometi ya go salon bate mukweleva. Nyabi yina na metebe bawana. Do mama kome kolabo ganya delega. Hina.
Kakotone dim ding dang, dim ding dang, dim ding dang. Katap kata ting anka pe kata konkel, anka pe kata panganda yer. Abagato bagat, aindo kor. Akalene, ta mojamu, agatamu, tarentamu. Donye, mama marita kagontu.
Ame ya timi wandi, timi wandi. Ame ya timi wandi, timi wandi. Mwa Kongo tami wandi, ungewa menda milwena wo. Tabi wondi, ungeba handa bebe holo.
From the east to the west, blama blama. From the north to the south, blama. No matter how you dare or you try, blama blama. You want to go, mama or papa, blama blama. Mo pikin or grandpa, blama blama. Auntie or uncle, blama blama. Mo tibe oh, may they call you, yeah. One people, one nation, may they call you, yeah. Now we number go build salon. May they call you, yeah. No person say you not here. May they call you, yeah. May they call you, yeah.
All right, welcome back. You are still tuned to Wake Up Sierra Leone here on AYV television and radio. And don't forget, you can be a part of the conversation by just utilizing the comment section of our Facebook page, AYV News. Still in politics, we're going to discuss preparation of the Revolutionary United Front Party, RUFP, ahead of the 2028 general elections. The RUFP during 2023 presidential race secured approximately 6,757 votes, roughly about 0.24% of the total. We will discuss the party's delegates and presidential conventions. Joining us this morning to talk on this, we have Abdoulaye D. Sako, his presidential candidate, Revolutionary United Front Party, in the June 2023 general elections. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us.
Good.
Let's talk about the activities first of RUFP itself. Since you contested in the last elections in 2023, what has the RUFP been up to as a political party in the country?
Well, thank you so much for your concern, and thanks to all the listeners, and thanks to the institution for having us here today. We, as a party, we are regarding ourselves as the only option to remove Sierra Leone out of this quagmire of confusion, in the sense that the people are not being represented properly, and the REF party is a party which is a very exemplary party, of course, and you should know the background from which this party came. The masses and the laborious masses of the people of Sierra Leone were the ones who actually took up to arms to remove the rotting system that was disturbing us in the 90s. So we brought forth this democracy to make sure that the voice of the people are heard, and the challenges that we had before the war could be amicably dealt with. As a party, the 2023 elections were not in our favor very well because we were very much decapitated. We didn't have the resources to campaign across the country, and there were so many other challenges. That's why you saw our vote drop down to 6,000, because normally we have a fixed vote which is 12,000 and more. But notwithstanding that, as a democratic party that believes in peace, and we believe in a peaceful transition and democratic transition of the nation, we are being very, very patient, very, very much steadfast in our own direction of winning the people, to have the people of this country come to the realization without being forced to actually see the reason why they should vote for the REF party and forget about the past. We are not talking about the war, you know, because most people, when they say the REF, they think about the war. We definitely are appealing to the nation to forget about that war scenario. We are now in the political fight. So
if you're asking the people to forget about the war and focus on the now, you are part of the opposition in the country, right? And part of the opposition forms also part of government, part of the governance structure in the country. What have you been contributing to the development and growth of Sierra Leone as an opposition party?
Well, that's a very, very technical question. First and foremost, democracy does not thrive in a country where you have 70% of the people uneducated. No country can tell me that they would have 100% democracy where the people are actually participating democratically to understand what they are into. The people of Sierra Leone have been marginalized. 70% of the people of this country don't even know what the political trajectory of this country is. If the people are being representative of them or not. The people don't know that, because the laws of this land, the people don't know it. They don't know what is happening in politics. They don't know what is happening in parliament. They don't know what is happening in State House.
People are ignorant?
Yeah, they are. The people are ignorant. They don't know anything. But you want
their votes?
Huh?
But you want their votes?
We want their votes. Because we as a party, we believe in the ignorant people to take this country ahead. Not that ignorant in the sense of being not educated, but people who actually have this country at heart. People who think that the resources of this nation should be for this nation, not for the 30% people who are in governance or the people who are elites of this country. So that is why we are very vehement, we are very radical in talking for that 70% that is being left out.
You mentioned that the previous elections you were financially crippled, so
That's
you couldn't, you know, carry out your what do you call them, campaigns across the country. You now have the resources to contend in the next elections.
We are trying to mobilize resources, because don't forget, during the war it was a self-reliance struggle. People were not paid, but we had over 70,000 armed men who were loyal to the change that they are desiring in this nation.
You think it's
in that respect,
it's appetizing
in this time
to be bringing up wartime scenarios?
No,
well,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
We should forget about the war.
Yeah, because normally I'm not talking for you. I'm talking for the people out there. The people out there, whenever they hear REF, they are reminiscing about the war.
Yes,
that's why we have to take that out of the context first and foremost, and let them know clearly that
REF is not a war party. It is a party, a liberation party. It's a popular uprising of the people to change the narrative in this country. That is what led to the armed struggle. But we are not talking about that anymore. We are talking, it's after 30 years. The people of this country are more awake now.
One would say
they are more aware now.
You know?
Say that again?
One would say the guns were unnecessary.
They were not.
If indeed your motive
They were not necessary. Just like how we have governments that are not necessary today. That's how the guns were not necessary yesterday.
Which government? Like
every government in West Africa today is not necessary. They are
every government.
All the governments, yeah. Most of the government, except for
huge allegation. You know.
Say that again?
That's a very huge allegation.
Oh yeah.
Why do you say they are unnecessary, by the way?
Unnecessary in the sense that they are not representative of the people. Look at Africa today. People are suffering everywhere.
There are countries that are doing exceedingly well in Africa. I hope you know that.
Say that again?
There are countries that are doing exceedingly well in Africa.
Well, yeah. I'm talking about the ones that have not yet, you know, gained the ground to let their people be free.
Okay.
You know, so we want freedom for the people. We want the people to be able to decide what happens in their country. We have governments here in Sierra Leone when the time comes for elections. They are the ones that are telling the people, we will build you schools, we will give you electricity, we will give you this, we will give you that. But what do the people want? That is what the REF is for.
You think you can do this?
Of course.
You can flip the coin.
If we can do it, that is a clear manifestation to the nation that whatever the REF says they are going to do, they will do. When there was a one-party dictatorship in this country, nobody stood up but the REF. And we made sure that we took them away, we flushed them out, and we brought back democracy in this country. That is why we are here, we are waiting, and we are appealing to the people to vote unanimously for the REF if they want change in this country.
Why would someone vote for you? Put yourself in someone else's shoe this morning and convince Seymour to vote. Well, the question would be, why would she or he vote for you?
Well, they would vote for us because they do not see...
You are the leader of the party, right?
Of course, for now.
Why would they vote for you?
Because they know that we can definitely deliver them. And two, we are 70% of the people, we represent them. So the 30% against 70% is just, you know, not magic. You should know that 70% is greater than 30%. Yeah. So if the people are going to vote for the REF, that means 70% of the people of this nation are going to vote for
I understand that you're revolutionizing, you're changing, or you're transmogrifying, whatever word you would like to use. The question I would like to ask is this. In present-day politics, what's the ideology of the RFP? But we can forget about the war, of course, and the carnage that happened. But now, what's your contemporary, you know, philosophy?
Our philosophy,
as a party,
our philosophy is straight. It's clear. We are a Pan-Africanist, socialist, democratic institution.
Well, in simple terms, what those
In simple
those
terms, we mean Africa for Africans. We want the people of this country to be able to run this country for themselves, not people who are being like puppets of Western civilization or Western influence to run this country anymore. We are tired of that. We want to see a country now
sounds racist in some way to me.
Of course, we are very racist when it comes to that.
You're saying that if you gain power, you would drive away all of the foreign people in
No, we are not. Okay. But we are going to create laws and situations
that will make it very hard for them to
empower Sierra Leoneans more than foreigners. Because as we are here today, the economy is being run by foreigners. You have the Indians, you have the Chinese, you have the corporations, and you know, all our mineral resources. You heard the last time the First Lady of this country is saying that there is a big brother who is not allowing us to develop. And who is that big brother? We point our hands to the British Empire, we point our hand to the United States, we point our hands to the European Union. Those are the people, those are our problems. And we believe the minute we get those people out of here...
In contemporary democracy, you know, they define these people as, you know, development partners.
No, we don't look at them as development partners. Okay. We look at them as exploiters, people who come here to exploit our nation.
Okay.
And we are not going to hide. If you like, you vote for the REF for that. If you don't like, don't vote for us for that. But we believe that all these parastatals, all these NGOs, all these foreign European people are here for their own interest. They are not here for the Sierra Leonean interest. They are here for their interest. They are here for our diamonds, our gold, our bauxite, our rutile. These are properties that belong to the people of Sierra Leone. They don't belong to a government, they belong to the people. And the people have to decide that.
And now getting the people to decide, it brings us back to the structure of RUFP itself as a political party. How many people do you have within your party vying to be flag bearer? In essence, how competitive is it, the position for flag bearer within the RUFP?
Well, the RUF, we have several people who are in line for flag bearership. And we are not very much, like for me, I'm not too much averse to saying that I have to be a flag bearer. No, the party decides that. And we are having many other people from the diaspora, they are coming. And very soon we'll be doing our lower level elections across the country. And also our national elections, where we are going to choose our leader, our chairman, our secretaries, and so on and so forth.
When will those elections hold? Give us the timelines.
Well, very soon.
As soon as the elections, the general elections in Sierra Leone would be in 2028.
That's right.
That's about 2 years.
Yes. So in the next couple of months, I believe, we would be on the road to do our lower level and
when you say you believe, there are no conclusive dates and timelines,
well, we have not actually set
within the party?
Yeah, we have not actually set a date for that. But I believe, from my own knowledge, that in the next couple of months, like in the next 2-3 months, we'll be on the road. Don't forget, we are a party that don't have resources. According to the Leone, the government of the day, and the United Nations and moral guarantors, we are the ones who we are going to make sure that the RUF functions as a political party, giving us all what we need, but none has ever given us anything. So whatever we're doing it on our own. And the people are resilient, and the people are doing it. Whether government gives us something, United Nations gives us something, we don't care. We know that the people of this country have to be heard, and at the end of the day, the people will have power. We will give power to the people.
How many members do you have as part of the national executive of RUFP? What's your leadership structure?
Our leadership structure goes from the flag bearer, you know, the leader, the chairman, the secretary, and, you know, and their deputies, PRO, women's leaders, you know, youth leader, disabled leader, and so forth. And we have our councillors, our ward representatives, and our district representatives, regional representatives, all have their hierarchy of their secretaries and stuff like that. So we are well and fully functional, and we are very much organized.
We'll come right back to you to round off, but let's head to Studio 2 and join Marie Esther Samora, who's all set to bring us the latest sports updates. Good morning, Marie.
Good morning, Fabian and Victor. For a sport update this morning, the Sierra Leone Aquatic Association has welcomed the partial handover and renovation of the swimming pool at the stadium facilities. Well, while expressing appreciation for the work completed so far, the association is urging authorities to prioritize the upgrade of the diving pool so that it meets international standards. Jibril Akano, head coach of the Sierra Leone Aquatic Federation, spoke further on the issue.
For the diving pool, initially in the feasibility studies from the Chinese government, we did give them an update about the diving pool, its function, because it's part of the aquatics, because the aquatics include swimming, water polo, open water swimming, diving, and synchronized swimming as well. And what we came to realize is that upon this partial handing over, the diving pool is not part of the project as what they said. This is not part of the project, but the minister in a statement stated that it is something that they will work towards in the future.
Well, away from that, now to Mini League, Army Moi FC have won their winners under-14 competition after a thrilling final decided by penalties. The under-14 boys displayed exceptional football skills, but break the deadlock in the post-game penalty shootout. Here is a report.
The final between Army Moi Football Club and Mimo Football Club ended goalless despite both sides creating opportunities and demonstrating great discipline on the pitch. In the tense penalty shootout, the crucial moment came as Mohamed Kagbo of Mimo FC missed his spot kick, allowing Army Moi FC to triumph 5-4 and claim the championship title. Delvina Khadijatu Bangura, CEO of the Delvina's Children's Foundation Sierra Leone, explained that the tournament's primary aim is to nurture young talent and provide a positive environment for football development.
Because it's an empowerment youth tournament, and it's one way to scout talent and also to prevent drug abuse from our community. They will be taking on what we have taught them, because it's not just a tournament. We are doing it to groom them. We are doing it to teach them on how to behave, on how to be a sportsman in tournaments and different things they are doing in life. And also we have different prizes that we are giving these teams. It's not about money. Youth football, we don't give money. We give them prizes that will impact them. For example, the champions, they will be going with one full set of jerseys and also a football and a gold medal. And the runners-up, they will be going with one full set of beads, 2 football and silver medals.
The head coach of Army Moi FC praised his team, stating that their mental and physical readiness made the victory no surprise.
Because this is massive for us. You know, we've been through thick and thin, you understand, with the boys. A lot of difficulties, a lot of challenges, but at the end of the day, we came out victorious, which is very good.
So what did you work on?
Players work on their mentality. Because without their mentality, you understand, they won't play football.
Guest of honor, Engineer Yakuba Tarawali, owner of Premier League club Star Sport Academy, commended the way the tournament was organized and promised to maintain its support for the foundation and its grassroots football programs.
This is an opportunity we should celebrate, and this is the kind of support we should render to our youth, because football unites the world, and as football unites the world, these youth should have a brighter future by having a foundation that seeks their interest and gives them the opportunity to have a better career in life. We at Star Sport Academy, we support youth. We started our academy like this, and it gladdens me to know that other people are doing similar jobs and other people are putting out resources.
Engineer Yakuba Tarali, CEO of Star Sport Academy. And quickly in the Sierra Leone Premier League, East Lions Football Club defeated Cambo Eagles by 2-1, and also we saw an exciting match between Diamond Stars and FC Calon. Diamond Stars defeated FC Calon by 4-0. And for Port Authority Wilberforce Strikers, it ended in a goalless draw, whilst Mighty Blackpool also secured a goalless draw with Bantal FC. And quickly on the international stage, Portugal and USA are out of the World Cup campaign following their 1-0 and 4-1 defeat, respectively, to Spain and Belgium. Congratulations to Spain beating Portugal by a 0-0 and Belgium beating the co-host USA by 4-1. Well, that's it for sports updates. Over to you, Phoebian and Jones.
Thank you very much, Mary Esther Samuel. Well, as we round off now, Sako, in few minutes, how can those perhaps who are interested in becoming members of the RUFB be a part of RUFB, and why should citizens support RUFB?
Thank you for that very wonderful question. I definitely believe that the people of Sierra Leone, in this time, coming to 2028, it has been such a long time, because if you remember, we have been
asking for change in this country since 1991. And up to now, the change has not yet come. So we, as a party that have been calling for this change, we are the people who are the initiators and pioneers of change in Sierra Leone. We want to implement free quality education, not the one that the SLPP is doing. We are the ones that said we want free quality education in Sierra Leone. Okay. We want free health care for our people. We want good electricity. We want good roads. We want good education system in this country. And the people of this Sierra Leone can never, ever realize these dreams until the REF party is in power. If they don't believe, let them go to vote. We are not going to be any violent party in this country. We are not going to encourage any violence in Sierra Leone. We are all brothers and sisters in Sierra Leone. What has passed has passed. But the changes that we need in this country, we want to appeal to everyone in Sierra Leone that that cannot be achieved by one person. And it cannot be achieved by neither the APC or the SLPP. Only the REF party is the one that is able to change the narrative in this country. And I want to assure them that if at all they are going to vote democratically, they should vote for the REF party. We are the people who want to change the laws of this country, for our laws not to be colonial laws, to be laws that are indigenous and acculturated here in Sierra Leone. So that is the reason why I believe that without resources that we have, that we are going across the country to sensitize the people. That's why we are on the air, appealing to Sierra Leoneans, those who are progressive forces. That's all
we'll be able to get from today's edition.
To actually
thank you very much for your time to be here this morning.
Thank you.
This is where I would say goodbye for today's edition of the program, Wake Up Sierra Leone. Say thanks to our sponsor, Wakeup Commercial Bank, for their support to the program and to our valued audiences across the world. My name's Victor Jones.
And I am Phoebe Wheel. Have a productive day. Take care and bye for now.
AYV Television.
Sorry, Carl, go see some business partners.
They give me the money, Michael. Can if I can say, you know, this people in not to Indy. Michael, today you pay me money. I don't send it for let you help me send money in Ghana. 2 weeks now, you not send me money and say you not give me back me money. Today, you give me money.
You know ever sabi goodness in life. I send back money, but trust me, today na the very last day I ever send money for now.
I don't need your help because I don't know so with Afri money. Are they able to send money? Now Baku Africa countries them.
With Afri money, we'll be able to send money to over 10 African countries, whether it's